And you mustn't be, you know, defeated by people saying no or listening to a particular song and they go, no, it's not for us. And then, you know, rejection is difficult, you know, whether we look at, you know, what my brother does on TV and stuff like that. It's really hard when you get rejected, but a real pure artist who, as I call it, has got legs, will just forget about that the following morning and crack on, write another song.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. You make them stronger. You know, it's like how many CDs do people buy that they don't necessarily like? It's exactly the same thing. You know, people take it personally, and then after a while, you just think, sod it, I'm just going to get on with it. You know, I went through that when I was starting. I had bands, nobody wanted to touch them. Fair dues. You know, it's like, what did we do? We didn't give up. We just kept going. We found an audience. Took a little while longer, but we did it in the end, and that's really all you're trying to do, is find your audience. And you know, and the other thing is, maybe you don't have one, you know, and that's just life. And some fell on stony ground. You know,
I think again we spoke about this before when we met. That you know, one of my brother's things is that this whole thing of you've got, forget about the internet for a second, but you've got to build your own fan base. If you can go to a record label and say, look at me online. I've been touring since, you know, for the last 8 years. I've supported big bands. I mean, playing live has got to be still important, surely.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, I think it depends on what type of act you are, but live to me has always been the most important bit. You know, it's people define their life on special moments, you know, and if a record is good enough, that it can be one of those. But it does tend to be, especially in the earlier years, live shows. You know, what was the first gig you went to? How did it move you? How did you feel? You know, all that kind of stuff. So if you're a band who are out there and you can't play live, think about doing something else. Because I tell you, all the artists I've ever worked with, that's the one thing they live for. It's like the reason that they do it. You know, the recording is fun, the promoting, most of them turn their nose up at, understandably, because it becomes difficult and boring and samey. But the live is just where they let it go, and it's an hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours of their time, which is just relishing it, loving it, you know. And I don't know, in the world that I work in, it's all about that really, and the record, the CD, the download, that's all the offshoot really. And you can't really survive without either. You need kind of both together. They have to sit in tandem. But you know, I think the live thing is really where it's driven.
It's so important, I think. So Jim, tell us, obviously we've got like, you know, 80% of our audience is out there in America, but we won't forget the Brits. What's going on with fiction acts in America? Are we expecting some new albums out and some tours? What's going on?
Well, we plug most of our releases into Geffen in the US, and White Lies are under the spotlight over there as our elbow over the next sort of 6 to 12 months. So we'll be hoping to sort of grow them audiences out there. Snow Patrol are coming back in the summer. They're going to tour with Coldplay and U2 and stuff like that. So there's some exciting stuff going on.
Jim, I really appreciate talking to us. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
It's a pleasure.
If I lay here, if I just lay here,